We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Byron. This is on Facebook. Byron has 4 SVS subwoofers, 2 at the front of his room, 2 at the back of his room. They have 12-volt trigger input. So rather than trusting the auto-on function, dude, I am going to completely fix this problem in just a second.
Yep.
So rather than trusting the auto-on function, he's run mono 3.5mm cables to each of the 4 subs. He also uses 12-volt trigger to tell his Emotiva power amps to power on and off. His Zen AV receiver has 2 trigger outputs, and the Emotiva has both a trigger output and a trigger input. Mm-hmm. That relays the trigger signal out again, and so this is how he's hooked things up. Trigger 1 from the Denon goes as the amp. Then the Emotiva trigger output goes to a 3.5mm splitter. The 2 outputs from that splitter go to 2 front subs. That is all working perfectly fine, no issues. Trigger 2 from the Denon goes to a 3.5mm splitter. Then the 2 outputs from the splitter go to the 2 subwoofers at the back of the room. When those are connected, the subwoofers hum. And it's all 4 subwoofers that hum. So a little bit of troubleshooting. If he uses the Emotiva trigger output, it doesn't matter which subwoofer he plugs in the splitter that's being fed by the Emotiva output. No hum. But if he plugs in any of the 2 of the subwoofers directly into the Denon, whether that's trigger 1 or trigger 2, whether there's a splitter or not, then the subs hum. And it's all 4 subs, not just the subs whose triggers are directly plugged into the Denon. So what's the solution? All right, Rob, I want to hear your solution, and it better not be the same one as mine. Go.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what yours is, so I'm going to do the more complicated solution, which is that I'm going to say he continues to want to use 12-volt triggers, and what you need is another splitter or a 1-in, 4-out splitter, because the solution to me seems pretty obvious. Just run the trigger through the Emotiva. So trigger 1 from the Denon goes to your Emotiva. Right. The output trigger of the Emotiva goes to, if you can get a 1-in, 4-out splitter, there you go. You feed the 4 outputs of that 1-in, 4-out splitter to your 4 subs, should be no hum. Or if you can only find 1-in, 2-outs, then you feed a 1-in, 2-out splitter to 2 more 1-in, 2-out splitters, giving you a total of 4 outputs from the 1 trigger output of the Emotiva, and you feed all 4 subs. You never connect a subwoofer trigger directly to the Denon. That's just the end of it. That's what I would do.
I'd be willing to bet that he can't do that anyways. All right, yeah. I feel this dude's problem, okay, because I am the same way. Nothing will drive me up the wall more than seeing a little red light and not knowing if it's supposed to be red or green, and then wondering whether or not my subwoofer's on. So I'm the same way, dude. I'm the same way. I want to know that my subwoofers are on when they're supposed to be on, and they're off when they're supposed to be off. And then I remember that every single one of these subwoofers has basically a digital amp, which creates almost no wasted power or no wasted heat when they're not doing anything. So I just leave them on all the time. I turn them on, and I never turn them off. I know they're on. Why do I know they're on? Because I turned them on. That's it. Problem solved. Throw your triggers away. Throw these cables away. Stop. Just let them run. And you could go ahead and call me afterwards if my electricity bill went up to $200. If your electricity bill went up significantly, then we can have a conversation. But I'm telling you, it will not.
Yeah, I just leave my subs on all the time. I put them in the on position. I don't worry about auto. I don't worry about trigger. I don't worry about off. I only worry about on. That is the one setting.
I need one setting on my sub.
They are on or they are unplugged.
That's right. Those are the options.
Those are the 2 options. I actually kind of agree with that more. However, the making sure all the triggers are coming out of the Emotiva from the troubleshooting he described ought to work.
Yes,
and he already found these 3.5mm splitters, so I'm assuming at the very least you could find one more. That should do it.
All right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.